Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Oh, still not all the way right, but you guys get the idea. Still fighting a head cold, but we are here for the final installment of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, season 5 reunion. Thank goodness it is over, it is done. I am ready to move forward. Sorry about all the wind noise, but y'all know how it is when you're sick. You're hot, you're cold, you're hot, you're cold. Um, Not gonna hold you guys long. I just want to hit some of the highlights and also remind you guys that Monique's video, which they reference in the reunion tonight, dropped at 11 o'clock. I watched it before I came on here. It is now 11:08, and you guys, it's really good. Like, it's really good. It's Drag Queens, the official video, and it is on the channel Tea with Monique. Tea, yes, Tea with Monique is the name of the channel, and it's really good. Like, it's a lot of fun. Monique is a beautiful girl. Chris Samuels is in it. She's got some members of the LGBTQIA community. Like, the music is really good. Like, I can see it being a banger in in the gay clubs and at places where they play house music, that type of thing. But I would definitely bop it, putting my makeup on, that type of thing. I think I'm going to download it. I'm excited about it. And the video just really kicked it off, like cherry on top. Okay, so third installment of this reunion, we're going to get the husbands at this on this episode. And listen, Chris Samuels did not disappoint. He did not. But let's just go through it. We when we open up with this part 3 of the reunion, we're continuing on with this whole Monique bashing situation. Basically, they want Monique to grovel. They want her to grovel and beg and plead and kiss the ring. And I've heard a lot of different opinions about how um, Andy was acting towards Monique, which I definitely agree. He was being a little aggressive, abrasive, or as Wendy said, combative with Monique. But I think he was doing it because he knew at that point that they were bringing her back for this next season, and so I think he was kind of doing it to appease the green-eyed monster, if you will. Um, and he may have been doing it because he's going to bring her back to appease us, the people that love her, the people that would not have shown up for a season 6 if Monique was not on there. And, maybe at some point he is going to give her the axe. Maybe they have agreed privately. She doesn't seem like that type of person to me. I think if Monique wasn't going to be on it, she didn't want to be on it, she would say she doesn't want to be on it. But I wouldn't put it past him to give her a period of grace, or what he thinks is a period of grace, and then do something underhanded later on. But I mean, who cares at this point? I feel like Monique said in her video, she's winning. So I just think that all of the ugly truth that has come out about this whole situation, Monique has just come out on top. Samuels as a couple have come out on top, and that's just how I feel about it. But yeah, they basically wanted her to grovel. We see that Candace is continuing with her tissueless tears. She's in the back right now, and Chris is having to talk her down again, and she's just carrying on like everyone's over it, including her husband Chris. We're just like, okay, girl, okay, okay, you're devastated. I got it. And it's a very hostile environment for Monique. But Monique, baby, when I tell you she is Teflon tough, she is Teflon tough. She did not break down crying at all. She had a shaky Candy Burris moment, but that girl held her own. And I mean, when I tell you they came for her jugular, they came for her jugular. It's not even about the plot. Yeah, it is about the plot, but just how many arrows and snares they were launching at her and setting for her. And she just sat there. And she may have, her knees may have wobbled, but baby, she did not go down. Okay, she may have buckled, but she did not go out down. Oh yeah, she bend, but she did not break, baby. And I'm sorry, that's worth its weight in gold. I think it's worth its weight in gold. It's something to be said about a woman who can stand though they try to slay her. And Candace did her victim act. I think she executed it perfectly. But at the end of the day, Monique came out of this thing looking like a real warrior. And in my opinion, she can never be the loser in that respect. Okay. So, hostile environment for Monique. Candace is like a dog with a bone. She went, even after Monique apologized, in this really humble way. And it was a very thorough apology. I don't care if it was made up. I don't care if someone else wrote it. It doesn't matter. At this point, that's what y'all want. She gave it to you. Let's all just move forward. But no, 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 no. It seemed like it almost pissed Candace off that her apology was so spot on, and it couldn't really be picked apart. And she just, you know, she went on about the song and how it made her feel. And I'm just like, okay, Monique made a song and she's capitalizing off that song. Just like her, you have an opportunity to capitalize off your wig glue. I mean, Beautiful Soul gave you that idea, Candace. She said you need to market and brand that wig glue, baby, because that wig held tight. Now, I think it shifted. It seemed like it was a little cocked. But the wig did not actually leave the head per se. So I think it's a valid point. You could have likewise um, capitalize off pre-folded tissue squares. The perfect corners that you can tuck right into the corner of your eye. Like, you could have done that. You can't get mad at Monique for capitalizing off something that was meant to scandalize her name. Like, get over it. Let's see. Yeah, so Candace, she just refused to get down off of her tower of tears, to come down off of the tower of tears and just at least be moderately reasonable. Um, and it was exhausting. The husbands come out and I'm sorry, you guys. Ray comes out and he speaks to everyone. He speaks to Andy, and Andy is on his phone. He almost acted like it was kind of a nuisance to speak to Ray. And then when he did speak, he gave him the elbow because it's COVID. And he went right back to his phone, which is fine, I guess. It's fine. Yeah, so, which is fine. But it was just kind of fakey jakey. It was kind of like Ray was a nuisance a little bit. So, Andy goes into this conversation about the Michael Jordan documentary on Netflix. And, um, you know, Robin was going on and on about Juan's first season he played with Michael, or he played against Michael, or something. I don't know. But then he punts it to Chris Samuels and says, "Hey, did you see that documentary about Michael Jordan?" And Chris was like, "I didn't see that documentary, but I did see the lies that was being spread about my wife and my child. And if folks don't get to owning up the stuff around here, it's gonna be a problem." And Andy was like, "Ooh." I was like, "Ooh, you better set the tone, Chris Samuels. You best to set the tone, okay?" So then we see, ooh, child, Chris Samuels, like the binder of truth, baby. He had laser focus. They went on to Wendy to talk about their family mess, child. Y'all know Wendy, they say didn't get picked up. I think Beautiful Soul got a video out there about um, everybody getting their contracts, but Wendy, which, okay. Um, but they talked about their family mess and the fact that, his family don't talk to her family, don't talk to her, and don't talk to the children. It's sad, but they seem like they're okay with it, so I am too. They talked about Ray and Karen being open. That was really a great conversation. Um, then they talked about Candace and Chris, and they're moving into the house. He's glad to get rid of Dorothy. He's glad the fact that she's no longer under their roof. I was like, yeah, but she is still haunting your wife's brain. So stay alert, Chris. Stay alert. They talked about Monique and Chris, and his off color joke, not off color, but he did a slightly obnoxious joke when they were down at the lake house, and he was like, "Well, that's how we play. That's it. That's how we have fun." I apologize to the ladies if it was offensive. That wasn't my intention. Okay, I think it was mostly Giselle, but Giselle, Robin, and Wendy and Candace was like, "Oh, it was gross. It was horrible." And Wendy was like, "Oh, we would never. Oh, baby, would I ever? Would you ever?" And Eddie was like, "Nah, I wouldn't do that." I was like, "Eddie, it's a lot of stuff you wouldn't do, right? Because Wendy's in charge, right?" Okay. It's all right. It's okay. Blink twice, Eddie, if you need help. Blink twice. Oh, okay. Anywho, um, they're not giving an inch on Chris. They're not giving an inch on Chris. Even he comes for an apology, they're just like, eh. Um, but Chris doesn't care. Like I said, like the binder of truth, he's laser focused, right? Um, so they play oh, and he also apologizes for the moment that they came on live, he and Monique, and he was so upset about what was being said about his child that he was like, "I wish I was a woman because I'd slap every last one of them." And it was a very real moment. Do I think as a man he would have slapped them? No. And he was very clear about that. He said he definitely saw how that could come across as angry and upsetting for them, and he apologized for it. And Giselle, of course, took this moment to really, really put 20 on 10. She's got a security guard behind her, bodyguard. And the conversation got heated at some point, and Chris stood up and she tells her bodyguard to go over there and make him sit down. You see, that bodyguard didn't move. You see, that bodyguard did not get up. He was like, "No, you go over there and make him sit down. I ain't about to do that. I agreed to sit here and make you look like you official, but I ain't finna fight with this dude." I mean, Chris was hot and he wanted some accountability. Like, he's a real man and a real husband, and he wasn't here for all of this, you know, fool la la. He wasn't here for, um, this pussyfooting around about the conversation. He took it as serious. He is genuinely offended. He wanted someone to answer for it, and he is not acting right now. Like he didn't care about it being a show. He cared about what was really being said about his child and his family. And that's really what he was angry about. He wasn't even really angry about the fight or the fact that they was coming at his wife about the fight. He was upset about what was said about his child in this whole plot situation. And no matter what Andy asked him, no matter what someone else said, he kept bringing it back to this plot. And Giselle was like, and he was asking Giselle some pointed questions, and she was like, I'm not going to talk to this MFer. I'm not going to talk to this MFer. I was like, oh, okay. I guess you can call him an MFer since Monique called your husband, your man, Pastor Holy Whore, which now is his name all across the internet. Girl, it was hostile. Then we see where they talk, Giselle and Robin make a play for Karen's for a moment. But no outrage for Jamal. They were outraged with Karen. They were outraged with Chris, but no outrage for Jamal. Candace admitted to the plot. As a matter of fact, Candace said no less than 3 times, because when he asked her about the plot, when Chris Samuels asked her about the plot, or he mentioned the plot, Giselle was like, there was no plot. Robin was like, there was no plot. And Candace said, there absolutely was not a plot. Right? But we've seen a live. It's on Monique Samuel's Instagram page, and I think Beautiful Soul uploaded just that snippet of the live without her commentary. If I'm not mistaken, go over and check out Beautiful Soul Speaks, or I think she is I Am Tabitha Brown now. Go out there and check it out. She's doing a live, and she says no less than 3 times she says the word plot. She says she admitted to that there was a plot. She said the word during the whole plotation, and she said I had nothing to do with the plot. No less than 3 times the word plot in one form or another comes up. So there was a plot, but they were trying to smooth it all over. They were trying to glaze over it. They were trying to laugh over it. And Chris Samuels was not having it. He just flat out wasn't. We're going to talk about this. We're going to keep it on the table. We're not sweeping it under any rugs. I want somebody to answer for this. And it infuriated Robin and Giselle. It infuriated them. It didn't seem to infuriate Candace as much. But again, I believe her when she said it was a plot and she was not trying to be a part of it. At the same time, she wasn't trying to let her girl know. And Chris said that. Why didn't you just call Monique? Why didn't you just tell Monique? And she said, there are a lot of things that are said and go on and rumors, and I don't have to run to each and every one of these ladies with a rumor that I heard, but you ran to Ashley on a getaway about her husband. I'm just saying. Again, Robin and Giselle play Karens. They were the victims, and oh my gosh, and he's getting loud, and we're so frightened. And it was just messy. So yeah, Candace is the one that confirmed with everybody online that it was applied. So y'all really need to take it up with her. As a matter of fact, Robin did take it up with Candace via text. Candace was trying to apologize and say she didn't mean it that way, even though she said it no less than 3 times. And basically, Robin just strong armed her via text to say that she was lying. But it's out there now, sis. Oh, and Giselle, your man's a liar because, everybody's man is a liar. He made it seem like Chris ran through there like a gorilla and ripped Robin's arm off and shoved it down your throat, and none of that ish happened. Like, he's just a proven liar at this point. Robin is so Clarence, man. I mean, they talk about that, whatever that is she's got going on with Juan. We find out that she's saying her satin, her caps embezzlement is doing tremendously well. The sales are tremendous, and all this, that, and the third. It's Candace and Wendy that have to tell us what's so special about these caps and why they're doing tremendously well. Apparently they're satin lined, and it is also Candace and Wendy that have to tell us what is the purpose of having a satin line cap and that type of thing. And I was like, you spent the whole season dragging Monique, talking about Karen, and you had all of this stuff going on, and you didn't even bring up what was so great about your caps. You didn't even big up your caps on national television. Like, this is what makes you guys look so small and so trivial. Like, we know that Monique has a podcast, Not for Lazy Moms, and a website. We know that she has a YouTube page. We know that she does essential oils. Like, we know that she is writing a book about potty training. And that we don't really know anything about what you consider to be an extremely successful headline. And I just don't understand that. Like, even if you don't need the show to sell it, you need the show to celebrate it. You can use the show to celebrate it and celebrate all the good things about it. No, all you have the energy or the inclination to do is talk about Monique. And I just I just don't get it. I just do not understand it. So like I said, Chris, when they asked Robin about Juan asking her to marry him and asked Chris what he thought about it, they went around the room. And Chris was like, I think it's great. I'm happy for him. And I just wish that somebody would marry the truth, and someone would ask the truth for its hand in marriage and say what they said when they was plotting against my wife and my child. And everybody's like, why do you keep bringing that up? Even Andy's like, we talked about this already. Chris was like, this was upsetting to me, and I'm not done talking about it. I'm not. And y'all don't follow me on Twitter. I tweeted, Andy said, pass the salt, and Chris was like, pass the truth. Andy was like, what's today? Anybody know today's day? And Chris was like, it is the day to tell the truth. Okay? He was not getting off of that. Every time they came to Chris, this is what he wanted to talk about. There was some conversation about the two Chris's friendship, and they both agreed that they hope that their wives can be friends again. They hope that they can stay friends. And Chris Samuels was like, it's unfortunate. I hate that it happened because we were good friends with them. And Chris Bassett was like, yeah, I want us to be friends too, but I want my wife to be happy, and if she's not happy, then I'm not happy. Oh, Chris was like, that's Chris Samuels was like, that's fair. Let's all just move on and let's talk about what the real truth is. Oh, when he said that about Robin, Robin got so loud. I just wish Juan Dixon was here. I wish I was like, Robin, don't raise your voice, darling. Improve your argument. Y'all saying that this man came in and he was hollering and screaming and yelling and intimidating y'all, but you the one yelling. You're the one yelling right now. All you got to do is sit there in silence. Monique has shown you the blueprint of how to sit there with grace and dignity, sis. That's all you got to do. I guess because you got this grunge helmet on, this graffiti streetwear wig on your head, that you want to get rah-rah. You seem like you was buffing up at Chris to me. Calm down, sis. Take it down a notch. Calm down. Why not there because he don't care about you or that show? Let's just be clear. But Chris Samuel showed up for his wife. He always shows up for his wife. Financially, physically, okay, mentally, he shows up for his wife. Bloop. Okay. Like I said, Chris stayed on topic all the way to the end. So, obviously, we talked about the whole situation at Robin's party. Robin was steady taking digs at Ashley. Ashley just sat there, just like Monique, like, y'all, okay, all right, whatever. Whatever. I'm not wasting the time or the energy. This is what y'all do. But don't nobody know that your hats are satin lined, though. You tell us that Chris Bassett called you and apologized and you appreciate it, and Michael didn't do nothing, and you want the record to show that, but don't nobody know the record about your hats. Did nobody know that? Okay. Anyway, to me, Robin and Giselle looked uncomfortable, and I think the reason why they were uncomfortable is because Chris would not let the fact that they sat around and plotted against his wife and did not say a word. Even if they wasn't plotting against her, they didn't come back and say a word to her about it at all. And I don't know why Andy kept going on and on about it wasn't on the show, but it wasn't on the show. You know that Giselle said on more than one occasion she brought it up. She put it out there on the show. Stop saying that, Andy. You make yourself look dumb. You make yourself look stupid, okay? You know, you're trying to be obtuse when you know what really is going on. You already know. You just want Monique and Chris to lay down and take it, and play their part as the welcome mat for this season. But neither one of them is gonna do it. One, they can afford not to, and two, character-wise, they not allowing you to drag them. They not allowing you to drag their family and they good name. You, Andy, or your show, or your bevy of itches. I said it. Okay, so we get to the end of the show. Basically, Chris has gotten really heated. He's kind of decided he was going to walk off for a little bit and breathe a little bit. And as he is walking off, he is still talking about this plot. He is still bringing it up. I don't care what the subject matter is. All Chris want to talk about is this plot. And when he walked off, he said, I play chess, not checkers. I was like, bloop, 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 bloop. Yeah, you're not going to schmooze me over. You're not going to distract me. You're not going to redirect me. You're not doing that. No, this what we talking about. This what everybody's talking about out here in these blogs. This what y'all decided y'all was going to go to the dinner and talk about. Okay? And that's what we talking about right here and right now. This what he did. I couldn't blame him. End of the show. Everybody talks about what's going on with them. We find out that Karen and Ray is planning a 25th anniversary vow renewal for Karen. And you know, it was very emotional for Karen, and she got up and she hugged Ray and she thanked him. And I mean, whether the storyline between the two of them was fake or not, they seem to have come full circle and made it very amicable. And I thought it looked great on both of them. They were barely out of the conversation when Chris Samuels stood up and saluted his wife and said, "This is a strong girl, and I never really had an appreciation for how strong she is. But after she went through the plots and the snares of the enemy, the arrows and the slings of the enemy, of these Jezebels, she withstood it. She took the wounds and she was able to heal herself and become better. To stand up here and look people in the eye and defend her family without blemish or blame." He said, "I love her so much." I said, "You better come through, Chris Samuels, and take your scene." That's what he did, baby. He took his scene. He was like, "Oh, I'll show you how to cry. Huh? I'll show you how to get emotional. I'll show you how to break your voice up on camera, on the microphone." I was like, "Chris, you and Monique know y'all did it this season. This reunion was epic. And it was epic because of Monique and Chris Samuels. Mr. and Mrs. Chris Samuels. That is why this reunion was epic. I mean, to the end. To the end. They was not finna sit down there on the end of that sofa like T'Challa, baby. They had something to say. And at this time, they didn't know whether they were Monique was getting a new contract or not. Okay, they said it don't even matter. If y'all showing us out, we gonna make as much noise and let y'all know we been here before we leave. And that's what they did, and I ain't mad at it. I applaud them. I applaud them because Andy is the master of trying to redirect and not address. And Chris Samuels was not having it. "Oh no, we finna talk about this plot. We gonna keep bringing up this plot. We gonna keep reminding the people how low down you Jezebels really are." So he salutes his wife. Monique gets up and hugs him. And Monique, when she said after the husbands leave, Monique said she's happy with her progress. She's so full in terms of everything that she's got going on and how well things are going, and she's enjoying, being healed. She had an emotional moment where she was talking about that pointing and how, and I've said this to you guys several times. My sister dated a dude that couldn't stand to be pointed at because his dad would point and point at him right before he beat them. And he used to beat them real bad. But he would point and just really, I guess it's called subjugation, where he would just hit him with the pointing finger and just humiliate him before he would beat them. And this was a dude, really, really nice guy. But baby, if you would point at him, it would bring him to a rolling boil. And any of y'all that have ever boiled water, y'all know what a rolling boil is. It ain't nothing hot like it, okay? Except maybe possibly fish grease. Okay? All right. So I believe what she was saying, and I could understand that. I really do. I can understand it. It's something about for a lot of people being tormented, verbally tormented. Like, everybody's not going to be able to put up with it. Everybody's going to not be able to deal with it. So, yeah, I like that from Monique, and I like the fact that she noted her progress and her healing. Candace speaks from her tower of tears. She is a tattered and torn mess, child. By the end of this whole thing, she looked like a rag doll. I mean, she looked like she did on the night of the fight. And she is the one that did all the swinging this time, verbally. Okay? She was supposed to be the victim, and she looked like she had been chewed on by a dog and spat out. Wendy realizes that she speaks abrasively. And Karen went around the room and told Giselle she wished the best for her. And Giselle was like, "Are we going around the room? Is she supposed to address every person?" Karen just went on and she told Candace she hopes things gets better for her and she hopes things get better between the two of them, because they kind of tried to hold Karen's feet to the fire. And I think at the end of that conversation, she came out so aggressively in the conversation because she felt like, oh, now they trying to target her. You know what I'm saying? It's like hyenas running in and taking little nips out of you. Like everybody is tearing at you, tearing a little piece of your flesh. And Karen was like, enough. Yes, I went to your boss because I felt like he was threatening me. Okay. The indignation from Candace. And she got to crying and she felt like Karen didn't care about her. And like I said, she was doing all of this from her tower of tears. Um, and basically, when the show ended, they all did the Wendy slither on out, and that was cute. Everybody did it, including Monique, and that was really the show. If you guys have not had the opportunity to go out to Tea with Monique Samuels, check out that YouTube page. Check out that video. Tell me what you think. Put it down below. I thought it was beautiful, and I thought it was beautifully done. I don't think we've seen a video for Candace's song, have we? Is there a video or is it just audio? Let me know. I may be wrong. Put it down below. But yeah, outstanding. I won't say it's an outstanding season, but this reunion, thanks to Monique and Chris Samuels, was absolutely outstanding. Y'all tell me what y'all think about everything. Put it down below. Is it me, or did Robin's hair get even uglier on part 3? And every time Wendy talked and they panned over to her face, I was like, ooh, oh, ooh, girl, y'all got to warn me before y'all pan over to Wendy. Ooh. Mm-mm-mm. Whatever's in Robin's hair is on Wendy's face. That's all I got to say. Y'all tell me what you think. Put it down below. And until next time, honeybees, I holla.